Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central and this is Sport on the Go with me, Olisa Chukuma. Well, only one place to start, and that's for Didier Drogba of Ivory Coast, as he's been named the World Health Organization's Goodwill Ambassador, and he's been announced for them for sport and health. Now, Drogba will support the WHO to promote organization's guidance when it comes to the benefits of sport and physical activity for youth. Now, the WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, has hailed Drogba not only as a great footballing legend, but also an advocate for health and sustainable development.
At 3 World Cups and scored his country's first ever goal at a World Cup. Twice named African Footballer of the Year, more than 100 goals for country, almost 500 goals for 9 different clubs, including more than 200 at Chelsea, where he remains a hero. Didier is footballing reality. So we're proud of you, Didier, as always. And more recently, Didier scored a hat-trick in UNICEF's Match of Heroes in Marseille last week. So he's still playing. His efforts off the pitch are equally impressive, including his role in promoting peace in his home country and using his name, his profile, and his own resources to promote health and fight poverty. I'm therefore to welcome Didier Drogba as a WHO Goodwill Ambassador for sport and health.
Many people do not have access to health services, and non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and severe cancers are rising globally. Furthermore, the world faces grave, complex, and evolving challenges in addressing poverty alleviation.
Well, quite an impressive portfolio for Didier Drogba, both now off the pitch and even on the pitch, especially as we come out of a pandemic with the WHO as a goodwill ambassador. Well, let's talk about Arsenal last night in their 2-2 comeback draw against Crystal Palace at the Emirates Stadium, and it took Lacazette's late equaliser in the 95th minute to secure a point for Mikel Arteta's side against the former Arsenal captain, who is now the coach of Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira. The man from Gabon, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, opened the scoring in the 8th minute, and we saw Arsenal, well, having a clawed back in that one. Christian Benteke made it 1-1 before the likes of Edouard made it 2-1 in favour of Palace, and Lacazette came off the bench to score the equaliser. Match day 3 in the UEFA Champions League. Lots of football to expect with fixtures in many places across Europe. Well, Club Brugge take on Manchester City, PSG take on Leipzig in Paris, and the big game is Liverpool away to Atletico Madrid in Spain, where Liverpool are unbeaten so far in all competitions and remain top of Group B. They have the likes of Mo Salah to look forward to tonight. And, well, they defeated Atletico the last time these two teams met in 2020, where they knocked them out in the last tie of the last 16. Well, FC Porto take on AC Milan, Besiktas against Sporting, Ajax against Borussia Dortmund, Inter against Sheriff, and Shakhtar Donetsk take on Real Madrid. Well, away from football, let's talk about tennis. Now, Australian Open and world number 1 Novak Djokovic is unsure if he'll be defending his Australian Open next year in Melbourne, as he's unsure if he'll be travelling due to the strict coronavirus vaccine restrictions in the country. Now, on Monday, the 9-time champion declined to reveal his vaccination status in an interview with a Serbian publication, where the 20-time Grand Slam winner said it's a private matter and an inappropriate inquiry. Now, this also comes on the backdrop of comments by the Victoria Premier, Daniel Andrews, the leader of the state in which the Australian Open will be held in Melbourne. He said that players who have not yet been vaccinated against COVID-19 are unlikely to be allowed into the country for the Australian Open. Now, the Grand Slam event is due to start on the 17th of next year, January, in Melbourne, Australia. And the state has also introduced a vaccination mandate for professional athletes. Well, this year's tournament was pushed back to 3 weeks, and players had to quarantine in a hotel for a fortnight on arrival in the country. So, will Djokovic take part in the Australian Open? Don't forget, he's a 9-time winner of this tournament. He's yet to reveal his vaccination status. There'll be lots to follow on that matter. And we can wrap up with the NBA, which returns tonight. It's the 75th anniversary, which is the 2021-2022 season, as the NBA promises to be quite a season of twists and turns. It's been 3 months since that man, Giannis Antetokounmpo, took the Milwaukee Bucks to a title and defeated Phoenix Suns, and they were crowned champions for the first time since 1971. But look at the LA Lakers and the new squad that they have, the likes of Russell Westbrook and also Dwight Howard in the team. Not forgetting the Brooklyn Nets, who also have quite a controversy in the team with Kyrie Irving yet to be vaccinated and not allowed to play in the team. So lots to look forward to as the NBA returns with the 75th anniversary set for showdown in many parts of the United States. Well, let's check out the fixtures for you. For tonight, John Ball is Milwaukee Bucks defending champions against Brooklyn Nets. That's a big one. And how about the other one? LA Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors, led by Steph Curry against LeBron James and co. Well, that's it right here on Sports on the Go with me, Olisa Chukwuma. But there's still lots to follow and track on News Central, so do stay with us.
My name is Okechukwu Philly. I grew up in Nigeria, attended Corona Secondary School, ended up going to the University of Houston where I studied to become a mechanical engineer. Along the way, I stumbled into a love for writing and I wrote 4 books. The first book was called How Stupidity Saved My Life. The second one was called How Laziness Saved My Life. The third was How Intelligence Kills. And the last was a children's book, Afro the Girl with the Magical Hair. I'm somebody that is just driven to help as many people as I can, just turn their life around as best as they can. And I have a soft spot for writing. I believe writing is one of the cheapest and easiest ways to tell stories that create magnitudes of changes across the world. I mean, it's one of those questions I get asked a lot because when I was growing up, I struggled meant to write. And I think when I went to when I was doing English in Nigeria, it just had so many rules. You can't start a sentence with a conjunction, prepositions, pronouns, nouns, and it just seemed so complex. And all those rules made it so difficult for me to express myself. But I think when I was able to go to the United States of America, I just had a sort of freedom of expression, and I just found myself writing and tapping into a hidden talent that I never knew I had. So I think I wrote because I had a story to tell. And as I mentioned, my first book was How Stupidity Saved My Life, and it sort of revolved around my struggles with academics. And I was speaking about it, I was going around and talking about it, but what I also started doing was I started writing about it. And that's really how I sort of stumbled upon writing. It wasn't that anybody ever said, you're a talented writer, it was just that I kept writing over and over again, and I sort of became good with writing. Traditional publishing in Nigeria is next to non-existent. It's so expensive to publish a book. And for me, when I wrote my first book, How Stupidity Saved My Life, I sort of went around from bookstore to bookstore, putting it there, and I know how difficult it was. And there was a point in time where I made so much money from my book sales that I wanted to redraw it, and I would go to the bookstores, and every time you get it, say, oh, God, come back, manager is not around, manager is not around. So they just kept posting me around. So finally, I got tired with that, and I did a social media campaign. And I was like, XYZ bookstores, pay me my money. And it became quite viral. It wasn't like big, but it got to the ears of the bookstores. And they called me up and told me to come to their office, paid me the money and begged me to stop the social media campaign. But by and large, I started realizing that book distribution in Nigeria is very difficult. The transparency is not there. I've had situations where I'll put my book in a bookstore and you come there the next day and the bookstore has disappeared with your books and with your money. So I said, can we think of a better way to do it? And it was 2013. That was I think the upper zenith of Blackberries, where Blackberries were very popular. So I took my first 2 books, How Stupidity Saved My Life and How Laziness Saved My Life, created an app on Blackberry and was sort of selling the books. And it was fairly successful. Some authors were like, we love this idea, can you do a Blackberry app for us? But it proved cumbersome because that means that if 10 people came to me, I'd have to create 10 separate apps. So I was thinking to myself, what if I create one singular app that I can house all these authors' books and they can just sort of buy their books? And that's really how Okada Books came about. It started out of frustration, started out of an understanding of the difficulties for an author to get published, and also to get their book distributed. And I was like, why can't we just leverage the existing technology, mobile phones? And that's how it started, and that's where we are here now. We have 300,000 registered users, close to 150,000 monthly active users, over 27,000 curated books on our platform, and more than 2.5 million pages are read every month on the app. So it's something exciting to see an idea that sort of evolved, and it's really changing lives. We've had authors that out of a book they would have just given out for free, they're able to make money, they're able to pay their children's school fees, they're able to pay rent, they're able to do things. And I think that's it's phenomenal what we've been able to create. The key thing with Okada Books, our value proposition is that we understand the local market. We're not there to just dump books, come with this Western idea and then run away. From our customer support, we have customer support members that speak the Hausa language. The way our app is set up for Nigerians and people in Sub-Saharan Africa. Our payment gateways, we just introduced the ability for people to pay with Ghanaian cedis. So it's a very localized app developed for our people to express their stories. Like I like to say, it's created for our people to tell and sell their stories. Our target audience are authors, firstly, that really want to get their stories out there and they can't afford the 1 million to 1.5 million price tag that is required to do traditional publishing. It's for those authors that have phenomenal stories that nobody would ever listen to, like Musa Ajayi, who writes romance novels in Hausa language. When he tried to put it on Amazon, they didn't accept it because it was Hausa. And if you probably went to any author or any publisher in Nigeria, they probably wouldn't have listened to him. But with platforms like Okada Books, where we've sort of democratized publishing, anybody with a story can tell that story. We're not limiting the imaginations of Nigerian stories. We have phenomenal stories, science fiction, written with a cultural background. So those are the people that we're catering towards. The second set of people we cater towards are the readers. The readers that don't have libraries for mouths, readers that just have a basic feature phone. We don't want them to be robbed of the joy and the criticality and importance of reading. So with our app, we've created an app that works on Android, iOS, but more importantly, it works on basic feature phones where they can use Opera mini websites to read books. So those are the people that we're targeting. You have your phenomenal idea, you've written it, you go in there, you upload it. Okada Books has created this proprietary website where you can sort of convert your stories into EPUB. And EPUB is the most popular ebook format. Works on Kindle with some tweaking and Kobo and Barnes and Noble. So we allow you convert your book to an EPUB. You can put your book cover up there. We offer services if you need help with cover designs at affordable prices, editing. And once you're done with that process, your book goes live and instantly it's available to over 300,000 registered users. We have a sort of crowdsourced auditing process where if your book has issues with it, the crowd will sort of control your book quality. So they will flag a book that is poorly edited or flag a book with improper information. So that's sort of how we ensure that the quality books sort of stay up there. Do we have libraries to begin with? I mean, the challenges with our libraries, if you go to the history of Nigeria, we have libraries. There are like 2 libraries in Yaba. But the problem is that we've lost our way in terms of the reading culture. And because we don't really have a reading culture, the libraries are dying. And our libraries have not really evolved to become digital or become really up to date. So they are sort of stuck behind. And behind all of this, it's an economic issue because the per capita income of Nigeria is so low, it's about $4,000. in a year. That's what a Nigerian earns. So you can imagine if they're earning that amount of money, with $10,000 to Naira, so it's about 1.5 million they're earning in a year. So if they're earning that amount of money, they have to take care of their kids, they have to eat, and reading and buying books is the last thing on their mind. So it really just creates this ripple effect where people aren't reading because they don't have the money, and the libraries that are meant to house people to read when they can't afford it, the government is not really interested in funding it. So everything is just going through a slow cycle of debt. If you want to buy books on the platform, we price books at a very affordable price. We don't use a US or European based pricing system. So you can buy a book for as low as 500 to 300 Naira, because our thing is to make sure that people can read. So you fill up your wallet. When your wallet is filled up, you then look for the books that you want to buy. Now, to fill up your wallet, you can fill it up with a debit card, foreign credit card if you want, or you can do direct bank transfer, or you can use airtime to sort of buy books. So that's really it. Once you buy it, the book is available for you to read. If your phone is stolen for whatever reason, you can get another phone, or you change your phone, you get the other phone, log into Okada Books, and all your books that you bought will be there. In the next 5 to 10 years, I see Okada Books being that organization that makes authors rich. Donald Trump says, make America great again. We say, make authors rich again. And I think Okada Books, using digital technology, will be able to get more authors to tell their stories, and more importantly, get more authors to sell their stories. I also see us, importantly, being able to drive and change the literacy statistics that we're seeing out there, where only 20% of Nigerians that graduate primary school can read. I see us changing that to about 50 to 60% and even more, where more and more people have access to read, and parents and teachers have books to read to their students and children through mobile devices that are everywhere. And by so doing, leveraging digital technology and the books we have, we believe that Okada Books will fight and solve the literacy issues that Nigeria is facing for years to come.
My name is Rukaya Bashari. I'm a wife, mom of 4, and I run Mothers Muslima Lounge, Lagos. Mothers Muslima Lounge is a woman-only pamper place created out of the need to give Muslim women a private place to come and get pampered. Moving down here from the north, I realized that there were so many things lacking for the Muslim woman here in Lagos, which was why I decided to start up MML. And seeing is believing. I used to just nurture it secretly somewhere that, someday I will try this out myself. In MML, everything we use is natural. We use powders like turmeric, we use coffee, we use oats, we use rice, we use guinea corn, we use milk, we use egg, and of course that turmeric is a spice, right? And for the skin is very good for acne, spots, breakout, dead skin cells. We use coffee. Coffee is great for cellulite. We use eggs, very fantastic for spots as well. Breakouts, we use oatmeal, a grape scrub, rice, same thing. So all of these things are indeed very, very great to maintain